Alright, it's finally time that we are doing the official settings video, which I am 99.9% sure I will never change my settings ever again after this. I've not really changed them much since the last settings video. However, a few things have changed, like app interfaces for the controller I use, little tweaks here and there. Other than that, I don't think I will ever change my settings again, so here we go. Settings. In camera, we have 110 FOV. We have distance at 270. Now, you might think that's quite far, but after a while you get used to it. And a further out distance allows you to just see more. For example, if I was a closer, how do I say this, closer camera settings, it'd be a lot harder to see my full car and the ball at the same time. I wouldn't really know where to turn, if that makes sense. But with further out camera settings I can. We have height, 100. You might feel like there's a little shake when you get a reset. Like this. You see that shake? You get used to that after a while. Like at some points, well, for like a week, you'll get used to it to the point where you won't even notice it anymore. Like right now, I'm just doing a reset and I don't even notice it completely at all. Obviously, I do now because I'm paying attention to it, but you'll get used to it. Angle -7 is just a really good angle, to be fair. And stiffness 0.5. Swivel, transition, and demo, they're just preference really, but I prefer these. And then we're going to the controls. We have steering and aerial at 1010 because you know you need the like maximum movement, and we have controller at 10. There's a reason for this, which I'll get into in a second. And the reason, okay, well yeah, and then we have dodge because I mean, if you have your dodge at like 30, I feel sorry for you. Having a low dodge is just amazing because it means you barely need to move your stick and you can flip. You won't just empty jump like this, or jump normally, should I say. And then we have bindings. Here you can see I don't use stall bindings. I use basically default controls completely. Power slide stall X, rear view R stick. And we have, where's this? Where's my arrow? I don't know what they did to arrow, bro. Arrow right, here we go. RB, arrow left is LB. You know, right left, then right left. And then what else? My scoreboard is on my D-pad. No one really likes that. There's not really much difference with the controls at all. You got reset shot being bottom on D-pad, that's really it. Video settings, I guess this a lot why my game looks so smooth. It's on high performance, 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 and default, and then I take off all of these. Anti-aliasing, I don't know, bro. And then we got render quality, high quality, render detail, custom, and then obviously the FPS that you want. Resolution, I think that's like the normal. And then VSync off. If you're on console, you won't have these at all. Audio, I usually have this at 21, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. And chats, that's all my chats. Yeah. So the reason why this is 0 is because I use Deadzone on Steam. Ever since I switched from console to PC, I've started using Deadzone on Steam, as I just said. So I'm using the Steam Deadzone instead of the in-game Deadzone, if that makes sense. So in reality, controller Deadzone is 18. But if I had it at like 10 in the game and 18 on Steam, it would be 28. So that's the reason I have it at 0. So it's not really 0. If you're on console, there's a few good options, or that ones are very popular. We have 30, 27, which I used for quite a while. We have 21, 17, 11, and then obviously I use nothing. Yeah, those are the popular ones on console. I recommend using 18. Maybe 17, maybe go lower a little bit. Why is Pulse Josh playing Skate? This guy plays every game, I swear. Anyway, you got Dodge, I recommend 11 or 10. It really does not matter, I'd just go 10, to be honest. Not really a difference. Yeah, that's it for the Rocket League controls. Now we're going to move on to the Steam controls. Okay, here you can see on the Steam controls. We have the Deadzones, which is a custom, which is 18 and 50. This is my square Deadzone. Then we have the shape on square, obviously. That's pretty much it for this. And then now we have the Nexus GameSir controller app, which is very important. I use the GameSir controller, which is by far the best controller. There's nothing better. The GameSir G7 SE controller right here. Now, the app has changed a lot since the last video, so I want to go over it. Here we have the triggers, which is just your RT and LT, which don't really matter for Rocket League, unless you want them to go down. It may as well. This is the report rate. Basically, the way this works is your controller has inputs across, like if you think of your stick as like a square, use that square. Here, I'll do here, like this stick will be a square, and it'll be divided into 250 small squares inside of the square. And each one of those squares, once the stick has moved over it, counts as an input. So we can have 250, 500 inputs, and 1,000 inputs. Personally, I tried 1,000. I couldn't control my car properly, so I'm sticking with 250, and I might work my way up, depending on if I want to or not. But yeah, that's how that works. So if you've never had this before, I recommend just going straight to 1,000 and learning it, because it would probably be more accurate, but you'll probably have less consistency when I think about it. So it's just preference, really. Here are buttons, you can just remap buttons. I don't really know what it is, to be honest. Here's the sticks, here's the important part. Click on sticks. We have left stick dead zone, 0. We have max 100. Anti dead zone, which is like, I don't have to explain it, but I know how it works. We have that on 0, max. We have the curve adjustment to just first one. Then we have it on raw. Raw is basically the dead zone shape. Like this is cross dead zone. It'll be cross for console as well. The only reason it's on raw right now is so that it doesn't mess with the square dead zone coming from Steam here. So we just keep it on raw. And that's pretty much it for this GameSir Nexus settings. Now for console, I think your app will look like this. Not entirely sure, do not quote me on that. Yeah. But on console, if you don't have this app, I recommend just doing what I said earlier, putting your Rocket League controller dead on, I think it was. Yeah, to like 0.17, 0.11. Just trying out a bunch of different dead zones, because this whole game is preference, you know what I mean? Everything about this game is preference. Here we got the right stick. You will have quite a lot of dead zone, or not dead zone, what's it called? Stick drift on the right controller, which, I mean, if you have a right controller on 0, you're just going to constantly move to the side. Not sure why, but I had to put it to 40. Or, what was it? Oh yeah, because I was getting the dead zone. I just realized this should also be raw. There we go. So you can see how it works, actually. You can see the different shapes, like this is circle, it's just a straight circle. This one is cross, like that. And then a square is obviously, you know, just a square. So your inputs can reach the corners and stuff. Mactuff has a pretty good tutorial that explains what all this stuff does. I know what it does, but I don't have to explain it. So I recommend going to his video if you want to. It's like an hour long though. It's a long watch if you want to learn about constant dead zones and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want any more help with settings, leave a comment. I'll try to reply as best as I can. And thanks for watching.